Everything is clicking and working for me. Don't judge me for my movie, and I won't judge your ass for your movie. Okay? That's how we gotta rock in the conscious community, and I'm changing the names from the conscious community to the subconscious community because the conscious community is lost. The conscious community is slow. We in the subconscious community, and when you in this club, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do, and you can't judge nobody or point fingers. Because all they do in the conscious community is judge people and point fingers. And that's not, I'm not even a part of it. I'm a part of the subconscious community.
You are now tapped in with Hood in the Morning. Call in now.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. See, if that's not the realest shit in the world, I don't know what is.
It's a celebration, worldwide party, get together across the nation. Heard on the station, we about to be replaced with robots from the space station. No more work, every day's a vacation. One tasting, it's been no work, now it's time for playing. No more waiting, they say love's for the taking, so take it. Damn, it feels good to be a king, knowing I can have anything that I wanted. It feels good to be alive. Pass the Dutchie to the left, let's get high. It's a coronation, a king's crown represents the whole nation. Heard on the station, reputation's waning. Our sons is lacking training, they the gods in the making. Brighter days ahead, let us not forget what the master said. That God lives within, beauty of the soul. Know within your whole, it'll never let you go. Once you see it, then you know, then you know.
Peace to the family. The Hood Mystic representing www.hoodmystic.com. Song's interesting. I recorded that song January 1st, 2020. I just wanted to channel 2020 in song form. And that song was how I felt 2020 was gonna be for us. It's called It Feels Good to Be a King by Giant Killer. You can find it on any streaming platforms. But on the cover art, I got the United States flag as a border. And then I got a king in his crown, got blood on it. He's sweating, he got tears, but he still got that crown, and he's in front of a plantation, right? And so what I felt 2020 was going to represent from a psychic level through art form was that our slavery was going to end. Okay? That's the level for which I'm living at, because you understand what I'm saying? Like, you get me? I'm realizing that my creative expression, my intention, the work that I put out, such as manipulating the matrix, and I'm not tooting my own horn here. I'm only referencing ashe and thanks to the ancestors, ashe and thanks to you guys for even allowing me to have a platform to feel confident enough to have my motherfucking off key ass putting out music and shit like that, you know? And for that, you know, I'm perpetually grateful from now and to eternity. Um, and now we have to discuss Dumavati. We have to discuss how what first appears to be bad ain't always bad. And the perfection for which you seek in your desires might be the problem. Let's start off with Socrates. I am wiser than this man, for neither of us appears to know anything great and good. But he fancies he knows something, although he knows nothing. Whereas as I do not know anything, so I do not fancy I do. I didn't know that I was speaking into existence a dreamlike situation through the creative expression, nor can I claim or prove that. It is just the deeper knowing that I have in the present, in the future, and also the past based on radical forgiveness. So the past is good, the present is good, the future is also good. And I claim that for myself, and I claim that for everybody listening on the live, you know. And if you claim that for yourself, you know, put it in the comments, put it in the notification that the past, present, and future is always to the good, to the good, you know, as opposed to pontificating and listening to somebody, right? Imagine how this works. Imagine somebody you deem to be an expert, you deem to be a president, you deem to be a politician, uh, a doctor, right? You deem these people to be some of extraordinary value, for which you allow them to tell you things about yourself that may or may not be true, but it's all dependent on your divination, right? I know I'm not living in the fucking twilight zone when I hear people say I was diagnosed with cancer, but I decided to go vegan and alkaline my body, and the cancer couldn't survive in my body once I alkaline myself. Am I living in the twilight zone, babe? You heard that before. Okay. I just want to make sure, you know, I'm not fucking tripping right now. Of course, we've been placed in particular situations and told there is no way out. It's over for you, Kyrie. You a felon. Your life is over for the most part. You ain't gonna get a good job. So many tricks, so many things have been played upon us. But once this energy ended and the tides had to be turned, I was taking a shower trying to figure out how this actual game works. I like to start my mornings with a shower. I don't know. Never mind. I ain't even gonna go there today. Peace to the family. Love and gratitude from my heart to yours. We still in the spiritual space. Nothing has happened to pull me out of my spiritual space. However, I have been warned. I have been spoken to. I've been led. I've been inspired by the spiritual plane, and I give great thanks and ashe to that. Um, and I'm not saying it to sound great. I'm saying it for the fact that we all could do it too. So we're just all referencing celestial energy, and I want to get into that. But first, you know, I just want to reference how I feel about this energy before I get into the astrologics of it. You know, when I'm in my shower, I talk to myself. You know, I have conversations. Some call it thought. I actually separate it and just begin to have full on conversations and expect answers and shit. Fuck thinking. No, let's talk, nigga. You know, how you feel? Especially when I look in the mirror. That's a whole nother That's a whole nother entity. Mirror Man. Oh man, he be. But besides the point, having these conversations, and I'm like, what is this energy? How can I explain this energy in a simple way that everybody can understand it? How the shift is happening. So we're dealing with justice and we're also dealing with finances. So it's like a payday loan, right? And so you can pay on a payday loan for 50 years. You could literally pay thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon dollars if you don't just pay it out in full. If you pay the minimum, you only paying a percentage of the interest. So if you only paying on the interest, the actual principal is never getting paid. So when it came to retribution, when it came to balance, when it came to equanimity, these things were never ever really reinstated. It was still this particular level of hierarchical thinking. And so the ancestors said, you need to begin to think about it in a different way. So first we'll give you Obama and then we'll give you Trump as a ways to redirect your thinking of hierarchy, because if you begin to look up to this man, then what the fuck is wrong with you? It's like me going to kindergarten right now, and or the teacher teaching the kindergarten class and saying, you know what, we're gonna let Lil John teach the class for the remainder of the school year. Matter of fact, for the next 4 years, we're gonna have Lil John teach the class, and then we're gonna see how the class turns out. Are the students learning? Are the students growing? So back to the payday loan. You pay it on principal, you pay it on interest, but you never get it right. So after a certain point, you realize that I'm getting played, and this actual game that I'm playing is never going to net me anything of real value. I'm never going to get my money back. It's never going to be even. So you have to file a civil injunction. You have to sue. You have to change the vibration for which that shit begins to come back tenfold. So that's what's taking place. Is no longer you paying on the fucking interest in the cycle of a payday loan energetically, with your time, with your energy. If I can just get enough time, Hood Mystic, because my job, you know, family, how many readings have I done, right? Family, y'all with me today, right? Y'all vibing with me today. How many readings have I done? I feel what you're saying, Hood Mystic, but this job, right? That's the story that we working with. I feel what you're saying, Hood Mystic, but this job. So understand that's the payday loan. That's the mind control, this career, this idea, this American dream, this idea of just eternal bliss based upon slavery. Like if you work hard, you can achieve this goal. We got to think about it in a more magical type of way. Now, I've been discussing these types of things for a while now, but now we are actually in a point in time where the things that I say are way more important based upon the things that you let pull your energy away. And once again, I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm just basically saying there is no more basketball for you to watch. There is no Skip and Shannon for you to watch in the morning. You can't get into Undisputed because they not talking about LeBron, and you ain't keeping up with your favorite teams. You ain't even going to work. All of the things that once kept you away from your spirit and your actual self, which is your family, which is your loved ones, which is your actual power, which is your ability to grow and understand yourself from an internal level. These things are coming online. So those tarot cards that you bought 5 months ago, that pendulum that you bought at the store but you ain't never opened, that Ouija board that you got, that the spiritual spells and things of that nature that you just ain't been doing, the rituals that you ain't been doing, all of these things now is the time, fam. Now is the time. And the reason that I say this is because there is a lot of energy transiting either away from or actually still in Sagittarius. So when we think about Sagittarius, we want to think about it as like a hub from which Sagittarius, all of the energy then spreads out throughout the planes. It comes from Sagittarius and then it spreads, right? That's the Milky Way. So Milky Way, cow, milk, breast, mother. If I'm living, I'm a result of my mother. So the Milky Way thus represents the energy from which we came from. right? So Sagittarius, Ophiuchus, Scorpio as a triple goddess, or a Hecate, or the Scorpio would be the virgin, Ophiuchus would be the maiden or the mature individual, but then you have the energy of the crone, which is Sagittarius. So it's like that Mobb Deep song. I been through it all. I seen it all, man. Can't shit. It ain't shit you can show me. So at a particular point, we reach out to elders, and the elders say, I ain't never seen no shit like this. You be on the internet, you tell me what's going on. Shit, I don't fucking know. I can't keep up. Shit is changing every 10 minutes because I've been doing a lot of history and a lot of research, and I'm sorry if I'm ranting or raving or rambling, but you gotta kind of follow this train of thought. So I've been doing a lot of research, and I've been understanding the foundations of this country. The foundations of this country, like Ohio, Tennessee, Kentucky, just state lines and border lines and things of that nature, imaginary fucking lines and things of that nature. What is that? That's magic, right? Calling it Ohio, calling it New York, calling it Massachusetts. All of these things become mantras and particular dialects and particular spells that we are creating this reality that we're living. Now, when you remove that, you begin to say different things. You begin to understand the world from a different perspective. And at first, it seems like the worst thing in the world. But if you evolve into it, it turns into being the best thing in the world. I exemplify that. Like Energy spoke in the comments about Pluto. Pluto being a transformative energy. When I reference Pluto in people's charts, is always, it starts off bad, but it turns out to be beautiful. In my first house is Pluto. So Mars being conjunct Jupiter in the Sagittarian energy, and then it's another aspect of the Sagittarian energy that I want to speak to, which is the actual South Node, which is our past life energy. And all of these planets have crossed across the South Node, which means that they are influenced by. And if a planet is influenced by a past life energy, then that begins to be the way that we solve our problems. However, when we are inundated with individualized, egoized, outside of individuated thought, imagine the president getting on the fucking press conference and saying, all right, fams, I got all of y'all attention. We're going to do a worldwide calming meditation where we'll all center ourselves and we'll calm down and we'll relax. And I want everybody to call their mothers if they can, or call their children and call the people that they love. And let's all take a deep breath together and know that we'll get through this together. See, imagine the vibration to that, which they have the knowledge to speak to that to the masses, but they don't want to. But then again, it's a reason for it. It gives us an opportunity to utilize our Mars and Jupiter perspective, which is our creative energy and our energy to be present. And if we are going to use our creative spiritual energy and be present, then we have to tap into our reality of reincarnated selves. Because nobody knows. There is no leaders. There is no spiritual gurus. I'm just a messenger. I'm not even seeking nothing from this actual conversation, but understanding that the requirement is that you tap into something and you lead us into a future. Because if we're looking anywhere else, we're looking in the wrong direction. If we're looking to the TV and things of that nature. So now, when you have questions, seek some form of divination and don't call people for readings and shit like that. Find it within yourself to find some spiritual practice. Pull out a deck of playing cards, drink a cup of coffee, and try to read something. Try to utilize your fucking psychic functions. Stop fucking relying on other people. This is not the time for that. When I do astrology readings, I pull from a scholastic point of view. I'm not doing nothing spiritual. So don't come to me for a spiritual thing where it's just like, I can read your future and none of that shit. I'm just pulling from a scholastic point of view. But, I realize that it's a time and a place for everything. But within you, there is a specific spiritual system that you could begin to tap into. That's beyond what you watching on TV. That's beyond what you seeing on Instagram. That's beyond your search history on Google. That's beyond your research. It is a mere practice. It is flowing through your mind, through your brain, through your body at this particular moment. If you don't even realize that your ancestors are a part of you at this particular moment and they are speaking to you, please let me just be the messenger. And if you understand and you can get that, ashe, but then share the message. Because it's not just us, it's everybody else when it becomes to be a fear or a change of events and things of that nature. It is changing fast and it is changing in your favor, but you're going to have to be the one to initiate and activate that resonance. And then once you live that and understand that, you begin to act out in that fashion. So Mars conjunct Jupiter, today being Tuesday, there's a particular action, there's a particular level of being present, there's a particular level of not hierarchizing this shit, thinking that there's leaders, thinking that there is gurus, thinking that there is somebody who can drop the ill knowledge on the fucking CV. The Chris Brown. That's what I'm gonna start calling. I just want to call it the Chris Brown. I'm sorry. I ain't calling it the coronavirus no more. I'm calling it the Chris Brown. So when you hear me say Chris Brown, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all scared of the Chris Brown. I ain't scared of the Chris Brown. So just want to get into some Nakshatra talk. I want to get into some Nakshatra talk, and then I really want to talk about this Dhumavadi, because in doing the research to Dhumavadi and things of that nature particularly ties into what's going on now. And just want to just keep everybody present, keep everybody understanding the things that we talked about yesterday, where those root challenges came to the surface and how you dealt with those challenges dictated the energy. Now it becomes another day of challenges and facing them, right? And I know a person might feel like, damn, why every day I gotta face challenges? Because every day you are building a new world, and a new world don't come easy. A utopia don't come easy. A pleasant way of life don't come easy where you're not fucking being a slave. So the actual crafting and curvature and masonry that's taken to create and craft this new world is now taking place. But it takes you to tap into and to tell us where we are going. You are the new leaders. Your children are the new leaders. There's no need to keep waiting. We no longer waiting for Jesus. We no longer waiting for the government to support us. We no longer waiting for these things to take place, because what happened, it already done happened. It's no longer, it'd be like, well, they kicked me out of my job and they said I'll be gone for 2 weeks. They said I'll be gone for 2 months. They said I'll be gone. You gone. You gone. You gone. What are we not understanding about this? Where we think that this thing is bouncing back? We've seen this before in mythology and history. It's called Rome. It's called Nero. It's called burning. It's called playing the fiddle while this shit burns, and nobody is understanding the actual collapse of the world or the country and things of that nature, because this illusion holds us so tight. But if we tap into past lives, we understand that we've been through this before and we can go through this again. It's not the end of the world. It's the end of a particular world. It's the end of a slavery. And if we can't, ashe and celebrate that, then we are the fucking fools in this matter. And let's not continue to be fools. Let's continue to be wise and understand that now that we've understand that it's about dealing with particular challenges, breaking through particular barriers, cracking through particular eggs. Let's go ahead and bring a goddamn axe hammer with us instead of love and light, right? We trying to bust through some things. So, Metaphorically, I don't want y'all walking around here with a goddamn axe. I'm talking about the barriers within your mind, okay? Just to be clear, you know, it's a real important part to really figure out what is that you are going to endure. Since they put in people in particular perpetuation and blocking the sky and things of that nature, because there are wondrous things that are happening beyond the clouds. And we just need to realize that just because we can't see the wondrous things happening, we just have to automatically know and affirm and realize that beyond the fog, beyond the darkness, beyond the clouds, there is a deeper, more magnificent light. So this particular nakshatra is after the Mula nakshatra. The Mula nakshatra is our root vibrations, our root causes, our root understandings. This nakshatra is more of actually taking those root causes and putting action to them. Since we know our issues, since we know the things that are challenging us, we at a personal level begin to work at things from an internal level as opposed to thinking about things from an external level. So it's really simple. It's really, really simple. If you have doubts, if you have fears, you have to honor them. The problem with talking to people is that they're not being honest with how they feel, yet they're buying 18 rolls of toilet paper. And it's like, why are you acting like that? Why are you at the gun store again? You buying more bullets? Who said that a zombie apocalypse was about to happen? Where are you getting your info from? How do you know they know something? And everybody is passing along information. It's like that game we used to play, 21 questions. I don't know what the name of the game was, but we sat in a circle and I told somebody a story. Chris Brown. And by the time it got back to me, it was Rihanna just signed a new deal with Fenty, and her new album is about to come out March 31st in celebration of Nipsey Hussle. And I'd be like, oh shit, for real? Where'd that come from? I said goddamn Chris Brown. And now it's talking about Rihanna's album dropping on. It's a surprise drop and the whole world gonna go crazy. And everybody gonna forget about the goddamn quarantine and shit, you know, and whatever, right? That's the games that were being played. There's so much misinformation that how could you act upon people's particular point of view? Because you don't understand where they're getting it from. If it comes to a particular point of view, you have to understand how to divine with your spirit, divine with your soul. Stop arguing with people. Stop trying to get people to see it your way. Stop trying to come on the level with people. Why is that? Because water seeks its own level, right? Water seeks its own level. So honor your doubts, honor your worries by divination. Pull some cards on a nigga. Pull some cards. Pull some cards. And so what I've been doing on this is talking about Glamour and Maya in each episode, taken from the Bobby Hemmett mythos. Me and Dream got a video coming tomorrow at 4:44. Wise Wednesdays. You do not want to miss that. We go into the 823 God Part 2. And when I say I got some shit, trust me, I got some shit. And I'm not even going to talk about it now. But, you know, everything plays. Everything is fair game when it comes to this particular energy. And that 823 God shit is real. And I think we're going to do some major shit tomorrow. So be sure to tune in 4:44 Central Time. I'm sure we're going to do it on Dreamwise's channel. So today we're talking about Dhumavati. Dhumavati is the god of fear. Dhumavati, she spreads viruses, y'all. She spread viruses, but she is the best god in the world. But let's first deal with this Glamour and Maya part. We all have desires. Desires in particular moments, but desires in particular interactions. We want people to talk to us in a certain way, treat us a certain way. We want to go certain places. We want to do certain things. And if we do not examine those desires, those particular desires run our lives. And because we don't examine our desires, we don't examine our lives, we don't examine our minds, we become the same person day in and day out. And what we really seek is change. And a lot of this information is going to go in one ear and out the other. And I expect that. But please believe, to the one person that's resonating with this information, understand that I'm talking to you. A lot of people not going to get this. And I get this, but I got to go through this because this has changed your life. You wanting men to treat you a certain way and you not realizing the way that you want men to treat you is the problem. Your desires centered in a realm of unexaminedness. And not to say what you want is wrong, but truly examining it without any emotions attached to it. Because if your emotions are attached to your desires, then you're saying that's the only thing that will satisfy you. And if you're not getting that particular thing that you're desired on, you're unsatisfied in the moment, and you don't have to be. You don't have to be unsatisfied. But if your desires run your life, then 10 times out of 10, 11 times out of 10, even when you think you ahead, you behind, because once you accomplish one desire, another desire is birthed like another baby, and you just, back into the same function, back into the same cycle. So when I say be present, when I say tap into the spiritual, when I say tap into the past lifetimes, you are not able to do it because your desires run your life. So if you only see your desire, you don't understand, realizing, seeing the inner, deeper part of you, seeing the changes and the shifts in the cosmos, and then applying that in your life. Dhumavati is sometimes regarded as an older form of Kali. So you would have Dhumavati, you would have Kali, and then you would have Lakshmi. The reality is that you cannot understand Lakshmi until you understand Dhumavati. I talk about this all the time. When we were children, it was the kids who were tougher and stronger and had more wisdom, and they probably were from adverse neighborhoods, but that adversity created something brilliant within them. The only thing is, it wasn't celebrated, it wasn't mythologized, it wasn't given, great accolades to, but that doesn't take away from the fact that they're geniuses. So we would say, screw you, drug dealer, I'm going to go to college and get a degree and show you up, and things of that nature. Now, when it comes to the get down, you wish you knew some drug dealers, right? In this particular time and place, you wish you had some drug dealer friends at this point. Your college friends ain't really helping you that much as we deal with the shift in the cosmos and things of that nature. So we're just understanding this from a deeper level. Sometimes the darkness ain't the darkness. Sometimes the darkness is the darkness to help you see the light. How about the only way to see the light is through the darkness? So the adversity for which a person goes through is actually necessary, as opposed to you saying, woe is me, and things of that nature. But that's what we'll come in to see as we move into the future. So if your desires run your life, I want a man to treat me like this, I want a woman like that, and you never think that that's wrong, you never examine it, you never think that is a problem to have desires, then you realize that that's the problem in the whole crux of being centered and being understanding the spirituality, because you never thought that the things that you want are wrong. You never thought that your intentions are misdirected and misaligned. So the idea is that the real deal of it is that it's not really what you want, it's how you want people to treat you. You want how you want people to feel about you. And that's based upon judgment. However, when you live strictly, merely on purpose, you say what, you do what, you feel what, you express what is true to you, that is not glamorized. That's not centered in no form of illusion. It's not centered in, I care what people think. I've been talking for damn near an hour now, and I know this is kind of lightweight boring to a motherfucker. I know that. I ain't stupid, but however, I need to discuss this in an educational format. I don't always have to come on here and entertain you and make you niggas laugh all the fucking time. Sometimes I just gotta speak plain English, and you gotta sit with a notebook and understand this shit. You understand? This is not fun and games. It can be fun and games, but it's not going to be fun and games all the time is basically what I'm saying. So beyond that, I'm trying to express the idea of specialness, and even me and saying the things that I'm saying, it could indicate that I view myself as special, but that's because you don't really know me. This is just my work. It would just be like if I was a goddamn a Burger King flip person and I made sandwiches. You know, that would be the goddamn best Burger King sandwich of your life. Because I tend to try to perfect everything that I do. And when it comes to the spiritual, I just take it very seriously. It don't mean that I'm better than you. I feel like a lot of people is much better than me. A lot much more adept than me. My wife, way more spiritual than me. I was asleep the other night. My wife just rubbed my back and I seen like a whole civilization that lived in my back. It was like one of those like worlds. Like in each realm, there was just like energies and beings living in my back, and it just lit up when my wife touched my back. You understand? I seen that and felt that and know that. So my wife carrying my child right now. So what the fuck? Like, it's not about being special. It's about supporting those who are special. And my idea is that we get through this when we see the specialness in others and not try to magnify or glorify the specialness that is within us. This is my message, even though I am the messenger. And it can sound confusing, but let's try to not think about me. Just try to think about what the fuck I'm saying. Okay? Think about what I'm saying and don't think about me, right? Think about your life and think about the words and how it applies to you, because I'm just the researcher. This is not my own personal thoughts and ideas. So to tie in from what we're talking about earlier, this idea of spiritual hierarchy, we are all equal. We are all the same. But glamour, Maya, and illusion seeks to imply that life is about some form of privilege and some form of specialness, when it's all about reaching a level of equanimity. That's what needs to happen from a spiritual level. Obviously, there are roles, obviously, there are positions, but the idea that a person is better than me because he holds a certain role or a position, that is some things that I have to work on. So, Dumavati, and then we can get into the tapped in portion. Y'all try to call in. Yesterday it didn't work, but I'm going to hope that it works today. Everything seems to be copacetic. So 3855-799-9560. And from there, I'm going to just talk about Dumavati and then I'm going to open up the phone line. So Dumavati represents the fearsome aspect of Divi. And Divi is the Hindu divine mother. The Hindu divine mother, another way for saying the moon, another way for saying Sirius, another way for saying your mama, right? How you got here. So as an ancestor, this grandmother spirit is our great teacher and guide. When it comes to the reality, it is truth. It is not just a favorable reality. It's just not, oh, everything is good. That's the truth. You know, sometimes the truth is the dark and the light. And knowing the dark and the light to a person, you can appreciate it. Knowing the dark and the light to yourself, you can appreciate it. And the darkness is where the secrets are. That's where the truth is. So if you are not dealing with the darkness, if you only are dealing with the light, you only are dealing with the things that are beautiful, the things that resonate with you, the things that make you feel comfortable, then you're not dealing with the truth. So the idea is now we're moving into potential, we're moving into unknown, we're moving into unmanifest. So what are you going to do with this energy? Obviously, this is misfortune, but a lot of good fortune comes from misfortune. So tapping into this primordial darkness is tapping into our ignorance. And it's okay to be ignorant. Bringing that ignorant to the surface is what we are trying to do. What can seem like a bad thing is always a blessing in disguise or a blissing in disguise. And Goddess Dumavati represents that energy. We want to bring about this energy to rid ourselves of extreme poverty and to rid ourselves of enemies, external and internal. It is said that Dumavati spreads illnesses and disease and is considered as positive because the diseases punish the wicked and restores cosmic order. I didn't create this. This is just based in the study. Dumavati spreads disease and it punishes the wicked and it restores cosmic order. So I'm going to just give a big ashe to that and move forward.
You are now tapped in with Hood in the Morning. Calling now.
This little life. In the comments, let me know if y'all calling in or not. And if it's not working, then I would know. Just give me a heads up though. Okay. So the chat seems to be working today. So if you called in yesterday and wasn't able to get through, be sure to call in now, 385-799-9560. I don't know if you. I know I was more or less probably speaking to myself a lot. Okay. Understanding it. All right. Let me know what happens when you call in. It's not working. I got the busy signal. All right. That's interesting. I ain't even mad about it. It's just really interesting. And maybe if y'all just give me a moment, maybe my uh yeah, I got a new card. That's probably why I cannot access. Fight it. I'm Sorry for the technical difficulties, family. Give me a quick moment to set this up. See, that's the difference. Yeah.
It's a celebration. Worldwide party, get together across the nation. Heard on the station, we about to be replaced with robots from the space station. No more work, every day's a vacation. One tasting, it's been no work, now it's time for playing. No more waiting, they say love's for the taking, so take it. Damn, it feels good to be a king, knowing I can have anything that I wanted. It feels good to be alive. Pass the Dutchie to the left, let's get high. It's a coronation, a king's crown represents the whole nation. Heard on the station, reputation's waning. Our sons is lacking training, they the gods in the making. Brighter days ahead, let us not forget what the master said. That God lives within, beauty of the soul. Know within your whole, it'll never let you go. Once you see it, then you know, then you know. Damn, it feels good to be a king, knowing I can have anything that I wanted. It feels good to be alive. Pass the Dutchie to the left, let's get high. It's a coronation, it's a king's crown, represents the whole nation. Our sons is lacking draining, they the gods in the making. They the gods in the making. It's a celebration. Worldwide party, get together across the nation. They say lives for the taking. They say lives for the taking. So take it. So take it. So take it. So take it.
Welcome. This service is provided by freeconferencecall.com. There is one other participant in the conference. Please announce yourself.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can't hear nothing. Can't hear nothing. Nothing. Can't hear. You say something. Can you say something?
Hello.
Yeah, boy. It's a wrap. I gotta figure this out, family. I'm sorry.
We are currently experiencing technical issues.
I can tell.
Please try again later.
I can tell. I'm gonna probably do. Oh, hold on, family. Is y'all here? 202-713. Is y'all here? That's crazy. Technical difficulties at just the right time, family. So I'm gonna have to probably switch up platforms to get this call-in situation jumping off, which I'll do some research into today. They just probably fed up with me. You know, we be too late on the chat and things of that nature. So I could only maybe I'll probably reach my limit of talk time. I don't know, but I'll have to figure out what the whole situation is to the situation, and come back tomorrow with a way to conversate and reach out to the people. But tomorrow's gonna be a big day. I'm gonna have a daily energy reading, and I'm gonna also be linked up with Dreamwise on his channel at 4:44 for Wise Wednesdays as we decode 823 God Part 2. And beyond that, family, y'all have a beautiful, blissed out day. Don't trip on the small things, don't trip on the fear, don't trip on the negativity. Keep it spiritual, divinate. But peace to y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'll see y'all on the flip.
You are now tapped in with Hood in the Morning.
Enemy won't bust a grape in a fruit fight. Label us property and tell us to get our rights. That's like my knife fighting for his life. Human contraband carrying a concealed weapon, praying to get to heaven. You gotta hear the insanity of millions of guys who don't know that they guys. They hide behind their squad on the stage so the hoes can apply. Don't